Hey guys, it's Tom. So before we get started, I want to let you know a few things. Number one, I have stopped doing movie reviews on my YouTube channel. I'm sure some of you might have picked up on that, but I wanted to just let you know. And number two, the video that you're about to watch, 10 songs, had some audio issues. What we were doing was, since we were listening to our music on headphones and we kept plugging them in and out of my computer, the audio sometimes would go out for a few seconds. So what I've done is when the audio cuts out for a few seconds, I have put subtitles down below so you can understand what we were saying when the audio was cut out. That being said, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Hey guys, it's Tom. I'm here with my buddy Garrett here. Now, a while back on my channel, I did a segment called 10 Songs where I talked about songs that were on my mind, but I thought of the idea, what if we actually played the songs? Garrett knows some songs that I don't, and I know some songs that he doesn't. So we thought we would play songs, 5 songs that we've been listening to recently, you know, play them in the headphones so we don't get sued for copyright,
right.
And just kind of get our immediate reaction afterwards. So you want to get right into it?
Yes, let's.
All right, so Garrett's going to go first. He's going to pick, you can just pick whichever song you'd like to go first.
Okay.
So what did you pick for your first song? I'm going to close my eyes. He's going to type it in my search in my iTunes.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
All right. So the song, can I open my eyes? I didn't look.
Do you want? I don't care.
All right, so the song that he's picked for his first one is "Ballad of Big" by Genesis.
Yeah, all of my songs are going to be Genesis songs because I've just been on the Genesis kick recently.
Do you want to say something before we play it, or go ahead and play it?
No, let's go ahead.
Let's go ahead and play it?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to cue it up. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that was Ballad of Big by Genesis, and I never heard that before, and yeah, I really like that one. It's taken from their album And Then They Were Three, which I guess some people would say was started the downfall.
The end.
Yeah, but you know what? I would challenge someone. I'd be like, listen to that song. You know, it goes through some nice changes, and yeah, it's got some fun bits in it, like a lot of Collins Genesis. But I really like that. What do you like about that song? Why is it on your list?
So I just listened to And Then There Were Three, like the first time recently.
I haven't even heard the whole thing.
Yeah, and some of the songs are what I like to call genericist. Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah,
I'll give you a high five for that.
Generic Genesis songs. At this point, and that means a lot of different things. Like generic Genesis songs from Peter Gabriel era is a lot different from like Invisible Touches generic.
Right,
stuff.
right.
And so this one is one that immediately stood out to me, partly because the name Ballad of Big, like what the heck is that supposed to mean? And apparently it's about Big Jim Cooley, whoever that was.
I don't even know who that
Sounded
is.
like a cowboy from the lyrics.
I guess if any viewers know who that is,
yeah,
a little bit of trivia. Tell us in the comments.
But I just really like the sound of it, whether that's the sort of strident choruses and the organ, the choruses, or I also really like the verses and the sort of tumbling drums and the guitar tone is really nice in that too.
Yeah, I love the drums, the way that it segues into the different bits of the song, the different tempo changes, a few of the different sections. It's a great track.
Right.
I like listening to that one.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, so now we're going to move on to one of my songs. So Garrett's going to plug his headphones into endless library of songs.
Endless? Is it? How big is your library?
It is 1,780 albums.
It is bigger than mine. It's 54 days.
54 days, 18 hours, 32 minutes, and 21 seconds as of this taping.
Wow.
So, all right, so my first song is one I don't know if you have heard, but it's from a guy that we've heard of, and that's Ringo.
Oh, Ringo.
Ringo Starr. It's a song that Ringo did not write. It was written for him by the legendary duo Elton John and Bernie Taupin.
Okay.
And the song is called Snookeroo. It's
Okay.
from his 1975, 75 or 74 album. Goodnight
74.
Vienna. It's from 74.
Yeah.
And I've even taken the liberty of printing out the lyrics because I really like the lyrics of this
Oh,
song.
Tom. You shouldn't have.
There you go. I'm kind of cheating a little bit with this one because this is one that I've been playing a lot on piano, but I still putting on my list. I was like, yeah, that's a good song. I'll put it on my list.
All right.
It's a song that, unlike a lot of songs, I mean, Ringo didn't cover this one. This is one that Elton and Bernie wrote for Ringo.
Okay.
Elton wrote the music, Bernie wrote the lyrics, and Elton plays on the track. And as you'll hear as we start in a second, he even does the count in. So let's put the headphones on, read the lyrics, and snookeroo. Okay, so that was snookeroo.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
It was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that track, especially me being an Elton John fan.
Oh
knowing
yeah,
that
I
they
can definitely tell.
work together, and like I said, he plays piano, and he's got great piano playing in this track.
Yeah, I could definitely. That was the Elton John sound. You know, he has such a distinctive way of playing the piano. That's a combination of just boogie woogie sort of stuff and just the improv that he goes like, I'm gonna go way up here now, and yeah, it was definitely very tight musicianship.
Oh yeah, the horns, the backing vocals, and yeah, it really is. It's a great sounding song. I don't know if you picked up it, but like I said, they wrote it for Ringo, and it was sort of a reflection of his upbringing.
A little bit, I could see that. It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, there are some great, great words to form in your mouth. Pigs will fly and the earth will fry when they get me doing honest hours. And I was born on the eve of Halloween, and Snookeroo's my name.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get the next song that Garrett has queued up for me.
Okay, hang on, I gotta check for it. I think it's another one. It's called "Scenes from a Night's Dream."
Night's Dream. I haven't heard this one either.
Yeah, I like this one more than "Ballad of Big."
All right.
So let me just get ready.
Get ready to listen to it.
All right.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, count it.
All right. 3, 2, 1, hit it. Oh, I like this. Ooh, I like this. Oh, it's over?
Yeah.
I like that quirky ending. I never heard that one before, too.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I really liked that one. I liked how the lyrics were... It wasn't so much like a bedtime story song or a song about your kid going to sleep. It was like something more nightmarish and terrorizing.
Yeah.
I did find the backing vocals a little too cheesy. That was probably just me.
Maybe a little bit. I really like this one because it also, first off, the musicianship on it is so cool.
Oh yeah.
Just the way that it's written.
Oh yeah, I love.
It's got a cool riff that begins it off, but I really like the melody line and the stuff that's happening behind it, especially the guitar part, and how you get those glimpses of Nemo's parents talking to him, waking him up.
Mm-hmm.
Probably my favorite part about the song is that Little Nemo was one of the first comic strips ever made.
Really?
Yeah, and it's just a bunch of page-long 1930s newspaper pages, just little Nemo falling asleep and having these weird dreams, and then waking up at the end of it. The dreams usually didn't make sense or didn't have any kind of narrative storyline. They just wanted to show off the artist's abilities.
So that might take an inspiration from that for this song.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so all of the instances, in the lyrics, like the World's Carnival and all those trippy sort of images are taken from various Nemo comics.
Oh, okay. I like that. It's a really fun track. I love the funky ending. I was so sad that it faded out so soon.
This is one of those tracks where you can kind of tell that, this may be a more pop album than Genesis had been making at that point.
It's still pretty good.
But they're definitely still very much, at least in this album, still very much entrenched in their prog roots.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the next song that I have From another artist that you have heard of, the late great David Bowie. It's a song that he wrote for a band called Mott the Hoople called All the Young Dudes.
Okay.
It would take, for a while it was in like a pretty crappy mono, but then a few years ago it finally came out in a really nice stereo mix. And what I like about it, and we'll talk about it, is that if you know the original Mott the Hoople hit version, which I don't know if you know for sure, this is not strictly like their version and he just recorded his vocals over it. It's his band. They do the whole song. And we'll talk about what the song means afterward, but you just know it's about the glam rock movement because the lyrics are a bit obscure. In fact, if you flip over the SNOOKEROO sheet, there are the lyrics to All the Young Dudes. All right, don't mind that. You ready? Hit the space bar whenever you're ready, or double click.
Yeah, ready.
3, 2, 1, do it. All right, so that was Bowie doing his own version of his song, All the Young Dudes. What do you think?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
No.
No. What didn't you like about it?
Well, I started out feeling okay about it. I liked the guitar work at the beginning, and the riff was fine. Then I just, I'm not a huge fan of Bowie. Like, I know you're a good fan of his, but
Sure.
I don't like the tone of his voice. It just seems really forced to me, especially in this one. Maybe it's just this one because I've heard some of his other songs that I can stand listening to or I like them. But I didn't like the tone of voice in this one. I didn't like the chorus on this. The melody of the chorus just seemed like he was like. He wrote down the first 5 notes he could think of and didn't bother to see if they went together. And then the harmonies on there were just so dissonant and bad, it seemed to me. It just, I didn't want to listen to that part anymore.
Well, as I mentioned, this was a song that he gave to Mott the Hoople. They were a glam rock band. They weren't very successful. He was a big fan of them. They said, guys, I can save your career. Let me produce your next album. I'll give you a song of mine. He originally offered them a song called Suffragette City, which is on his Rise and Fall, but they asked for a different song called Drive-In Saturday, which the Bowie released, and so they kind of settled on, Bowie didn't want to give that one away, and they didn't want Suffragette City, so they kind of settled on a third song, and this became this one. If you hear the Mott the Hoople version, not only does Bowie produce the track, but he plays guitar, sings backing vocals, and hand claps. And if you ever hear it, it sounds different. Mott the Hoople do their own version. Bowie just helps out on it.
Sure.
This version is his own band, so that's what I really like. That it's not just a demo that has his. I mean, it is a demo in a way, but it's not. It's not they laid down the track and said, "Bowie, can you sing for us?"
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But I've heard that version exists. All right, so that was my second track. So let's move on to your third track that you have queued up for us. It's another Genesis song, I imagine.
Yes.
All right.
So just one that I've
been listening
to a lot.
Sure, by all means.
It's from.
All right. And what is said track, Hofduke?
Turn It On Again.
I do love said song. All right, so let's.
Hang on, I gotta play stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
By the way, just to kill time on All the Young Dudes, the track itself, the lyrics are about the glam movement. In the mid-'70s, it was hot. It was, Queen and T-Rex, as he mentioned in there.
Yeah, what exactly is that movement? I keep hearing about it. And
the glam movement, it involves a lot of artists wearing makeup, not Kiss makeup, looking flamboyant or homosexual or female. It was essentially... you had the music and then you had the look as well, which was just as striking. Bowie was a big part of it. The lyric is told from the point of view of someone who is a glam rock fan, and he doesn't see eye to eye with his brother who likes the Beatles and the Stones. And the song is encouraging people to, other music booms died out. The hippie movement died out. That didn't go anywhere. Yeah. At least that's what the narrator's saying. So he's saying, all the young dudes, hey, dude, carry this movement, let it keep going, but unfortunately it didn't keep going for that long. Dead. Yeah. It's dead. So it's kind of ironic, but the song was essentially kind of the capture of that time. It's like, this is what's hip. Let's hope this continues on for years and years.
I feel more like the brother he's complaining about, even though I'm not a fan of the Stones.
Right, but that essentially, that was what Bowie was trying to capture. Was saying, guys, that's old. Out with the old, in with the new.
Sure.
So
Okay.
and the song was a big hit amongst the glam rock fans, and Mott the Hoople had a big hit with it. But then, funny enough, after that, they didn't really hit big again. They broke up.
Huh.
But anyway, let's move on to Genesis.
Yeah.
This is Turn It On Again. I love this track. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do the countdown. 3, 2, 1, hit it. I might do a bit singing if that's okay. I love that track.
That's some good Genesis right there.
I don't care what anyone says. That is one of the quintessential album openers, concert openers I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
It's the only track on there, Turn It On Again, that hits that's not chronological for a good reason. It has to start the collection. And I know it doesn't start the album, Duke. It starts side 2.
Sure.
And I know there's a story in Duke. I can't follow said story.
Oh,
but
is there?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. They're supposed to.
I'm gonna love this album more than I realized.
But I would have easily, if there were no story, I would have easily made this the album opener.
Oh, yeah.
No problem. Nothing against Behind the Lines, but
Yeah, they opened a lot of concerts with this one.
they
too.
they need to. It is
Yeah.
the I love it. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. Why have you listening to
I
it
really
so much?
I like this one. It was one of the first Genesis songs I'd ever really listened to. Like you hear Misunderstanding on the radio or something, and that's fine. But this is the first time I'd sat down with anything and like listened to an album, and this was one of the first ones I heard because it was on that compilation you mentioned.
Yes.
And so I was just immediately struck by you mentioned that in what we've talked about this song specifically is that it's definitely pop.
Oh yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
No.
But it also has a lot of
Time changes.
A lot of time signature changes.
And if I may, chords that don't fit in with the key.
Right.
I have the sheet music for this. This song's in the key of B, and they work in G, A, F sharp, chords that don't fit in said key, but they make it work.
Yeah, it's one of those songs where it feels like you've got a bunch of puzzle pieces jammed together that shouldn't work, but it somehow does.
Yeah.
And this is probably one of the most powerful Collins vocal performances.
Oh,
there
for
is.
sure.
Like right up there with Mama and No Son of Mine. Unfortunately, they just never really captured the same energy that they did in the studio for any of the live performances I've heard of Turn It On.
I don't think I've heard any of the live performances.
Yeah,
no,
there's one on Three Sides live and one on...
I did watch the performance, the one that leads off the history video documentary.
The one that they
I think it's
reunited shortly.
Yeah. I think it's of Nebworth it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was in 1990.
Yeah, that was like where I got hooked on that song.
Yeah. That was a good performance, but again, it just doesn't capture the same energy and purpose.
Yeah,
in this one.
It's fantastic.
I don't really want to talk about the one in 2007.
We won't go there then. I've often fantasized about being a concert performer and singing this song. It would just be a fantastic concert opener. You get the audience clapping during the ba-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, which is it's so great. Not much I can say about without repeating myself. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay.
So the next track I just heard this year.
Okay.
It's a track, and I have to look up the guy's name because I can't off the top of my head. Jamie N. Commons. This is a song of his called Rumble and Sway. I first heard the trailer for the Coen Brothers movie Hail Caesar, and I was like, that is a good song. And so I downloaded it recently from iTunes, and I've been playing it nonstop. The lyrics on it are pretty simple. There's not really much to read into.
Okay.
But it's a fun track. At least I think it's fun. You might think otherwise. but I hope we feel the same.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So that was Jamie N. Commons doing Rumble and Sway.
Cool.
You like that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that one too, ever since I heard it in the Hail Caesar trailer, which, quick backstory, was such a fun trailer. I was like, I can't wait for this movie, and the song behind it made the trailer so exciting.
Yeah.
as I told you, I was not a big fan of the movie when it actually came out.
Sure.
I kind of consider that trailer a bit misleading because it wasn't as fun as I thought it was going to be. But the trailer, the basic premise is George Clooney is an actor who gets kidnapped, and Josh Brolin, the director, has to go after him. So the trailer showed a lot of cops chasing, car chases, and Josh Brolin tried to sort things out, and to have that in the background just added more pep to the trailer. And I was just like, oh, I'm so excited for this movie. And I completely forgot about the song until it was on iTunes. It was 69 cents. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll get it.
Shoosh, yeah.
What do you like about it?
I really like how through most of it, it sounds like something. One of the first recordings of of rock music, I guess, like blues sort of music.
Yeah, it starts pretty simple, basic drum pattern, and
it reminds me of "Get Me Out of Here" from Paul McCartney's New.
Oh yeah,
how it was a sort of modern take on an old blues song.
Yeah.
With the scratchy vocals that sounded like they were recorded a long, long time ago, with the really strong, thumpy drums behind it.
And the sort of messy acoustic playing.
Yeah, yeah. And when they brought in the brass, it's like, okay, so now it's kind of like someone doing it as a sort of standard performance, but it also still has that old background to it. And then it starts bringing in the sort of blippy, sampley sort of parts in the middle.
Yeah, by the way, that was not the track malfunctioning. That actually is on the track.
Yeah. I figured it was. I could tell it was. And, that's fine and all, but I just really like the parts where it sounded like something a lot older than it is in a lot of ways.
It sounds like a throwback.
Yeah.
And in the way the movie Hail Caesar was supposed to take place in, like, the golden era of Hollywood, where you had your musicals, your love stories, your westerns, your big production numbers.
Were they sound movies?
You mean in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like George Clooney. George Clooney is in a movie called Hail Caesar.
Yeah, yeah. He has dialogue, and he can't get it.
And he can't get it right. Yeah.
I remember that now.
You have the West Side Story type musical with Channing Tatum as sailors doing a fantastic tap dance number in the movie. It really is just a great track. It's not used in the movie.
Sure.
But just hearing the trailer, watching it so many times, just so excited for this movie. The song behind it just really just pumped me up for this one. So
thanks for that. That was good.
Yeah, it might be the best one I played for you so far today. All the Young Dudes and SNOOKEROO.
Yeah, this is the best of those three.
All right, well, there's more coming. All right, so Garrett's going to get his fourth song queued up. Which,
yes. Another Genesis.
Yeah.
You ask.
Should I close my eyes?
You go to the self-titled album.
Subtitled Genesis album.
From 1983.
Also called Shapes.
All right. Is that what people call it?
One person called it on the internet. So.
Shapes. All right, well, this one is sometimes two songs.
All right. Maybe the Home by the Sea medley.
Home by the Sea suite.
All right. Well, this one's gonna be fun.
You ready?
All right, let's do this.
Count us in.
3, 2, 1, hit it. Can you believe that an Illegal Alien and That's All are on the same album?
Right?
I mean, I love all those songs. Mm-hmm. So that was the Home by the Sea medley, Home by the Sea, and the second Home by the Sea. It surprises me they didn't just make it one song and just call it Home by the Sea.
They did that for the live album.
Right,
Walk.
But even on the studio album, like, why do they have to title it differently? You know, just call it Home by the Sea. Make it the 11-minute suite just on its own. It surprises me that it's separate, but it doesn't take away the fact that it's how good it is.
Oh man, yeah.
I'll challenge anyone who looks at this album and just be like, "Oh, that's all Illegal Alien." I'll be like, "Yeah, take a listen to this."
Yeah.
And it wasn't just me or the end of the first half of Home by the Sea before the second part starts, where it's all ambient and there's synths and there's bleeps and bloops. Reminds me of like the Endless River a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
This is the way that it sounds. Mm-hmm. What did you put on the list? What have you been listening to?
Yeah, this is one of those that I kind of read about or heard about in interviews. It's just one that I felt like I owe it a re-listen.
Yeah,
sort of
it's
thing.
one that I've heard it a number of times, and it's one that like I've never come away like loving it. Like, oh my god, it's one that I've come to be like, I like that track.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's one of those like the more I listen to it, I'm gonna be like, oh, I love that track.
Yeah,
I've always liked.
especially like um, more so in the first part because the second part is mostly instrumental. Uh, the lyrics on it and the just the
I'm still trying to figure out a meaning.
yeah. All I got from it was and the way we walk. Paul,
Phil,
the other P name.
one of those guys.
Yeah, Phil begins it by saying it's about going to another world or something, or being taken to another world. It's about another world. So I get this kind of X-Files-y sort of feel to it, the beginning anyway.
Yeah, oh yeah, especially.
Especially the images that they talk about, like living shadows that come up out of the floorboards.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the X-Files myself, but I know enough about it to be like, yeah,
sure.
And even just like the dark, ominous minor chords, very spooky, very mysterious. I one of those lyrics I listen to it and I'm like, what does that mean? I don't know, I'm just gonna listen to it. But yeah, it's great choice.
Thanks.
All right, so my fourth. We traveled back in time for the 70s for the first two, and then we jumped to 2013 for Rumble and Sway. The only sort of contemporary groups that I like is the Decemberists, and they're kind of folky, but folk rock in a way, and they're from is it Oregon or Seattle? I really should know, but it's from one of those northwest places.
Sure.
But funny enough, the singer Colin Malloy kind of sings a bit Irish in a way. That's kind of just his style. Well, anyway, the song that I've chosen is called "Calamity Song." It's a short one. It's like it's almost 4 minutes. I say short compared to some other stuff they've done.
To like Home by the Sea Suite.
Exactly. On their King is Dead album released in 2010, 2011 era. I mean, yeah, let's go ahead and listen to it. The lyrics are on the back of the Rumble and Sway one. All right, so you ready?
Is it this one?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yes. All right, so if you're ready, we'll do this. All right, we'll do the countdown. 3, 2, 1, play. So, thoughts?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one I've been listening to a lot because once I played that song for the first time, I can't get it out of my head.
Yeah, it's catchy.
It's you can't. The first time I heard it, I just wanted to just play it again and again. It was just a fantastic melody, and yeah, I really like it.
Okay.
Was there anything that you specifically liked about it?
I do like the melody line. It is pretty catchy. It's just like I'm looking at some of these lyrics and I'm just like,
don't look too deep into them. I don't even know.
And I'm just like, Dylan.
It could very well be.
And that's probably also because they use a lot of acoustic guitar on that. It's pretty folky. Are they technically a folk band or something?
They have a lot of acoustic guitars in the band. I would describe more as folk rock on some of their albums, especially these two. You can't see this. I'm pointing at my iTunes. The Crane Wife and the Hazards of Love. They actually experiment a little proggy. Hazards of Love is an opera. It tells a story. I don't even know what the story is. And the Crane Wife has 2 songs on it that are over 12 minutes long.
Okay.
So they do different things, but that's just the one of theirs that I've been playing a lot lately.
Yeah.
So
I get the feeling it's kind of about an apocalypse, but then in the middle I'm like, what is it talking about at all? And then toward the end I'm like, okay, now we're back to the apocalyptic imagery. It's just like, what is this stuff?
I don't know, and I don't really look into it that much.
Yeah,
I just like to listen to it.
Yeah.
It's so catchy. The oohs get me every single time. But all right, so let's move on to the finals tracks that we have selected for each other. So
I'm not going to tell you the track that I've selected.
You're not going to tell me. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to close my eyes and you're going to type it in my iTunes and just go from there.
Uh-huh.
All right. I think so, but you better not have the same one that I have picked out.
You said your last one's Genesis, right?
Yeah, from Nursery Crime.
Okay, so it's not.
Yeah.
So don't worry.
Okay, good. All right, my eyes are closed. Surprise me.
Oh, I will.
Here we go. Well, I have a feeling this is not going to be good, but we'll see.
Okay, hang on.
I'm an optimist.
All right.
Good choice. Oh, I wanna love that song. It's shown up a lot on the compilations and.
So what we listened to, I don't think we said it.
No.
Was "In Too Deep" by Genesis.
Yeah.
Which was on their best-selling Invisible Touch album.
Yeah.
But critically panned album.
Oh, that song. It's one of my least favorite Genesis songs.
Sure.
My problems with it, the song is the lyrics are a little too generic for my liking. The song's too long. I honestly forgot I was still listening to it. And Colin's voice, although nice and powerful, I'm putting air quotes, it sounds like it's a 10-note range. And so there's so much that I would like to like about it, but in the end, I mean, I didn't want to take my headphones off. The song's never done that to me, where it's just, oh God, just stop. But it's one of those where on the wrong day, I will say those exact. I'm like, no, not today.
Yeah, I don't know.
Were you trying to listen to it this week to redeem it, to love it? What's up?
So I've been listening to a lot of later Genesis recently.
You played me all late Genesis today.
Yeah, that's why I was listening to everything from. And then there were 3 and 78 to
Shapes.
Everything after that, except for Calling All Stations, because that wasn't the era I was looking at. And
we don't talk about that.
I think it's a decent album. And yeah, I used to think very much the same way about In Too Deep, like until really recently. I don't know what exactly it was that finally caught me about this song.
Collins came to your head and came to your house and put a gun to your head.
That's what it was. No, I don't know. It's just I was going through it on my listening to Invisible Touch all the way through. It's on the Way We Walk Shorts album. And I just I was in the car when I listened to it. I'm like, well, might as well sing along to it. I know most of the words. And I just found myself enjoying singing it so much.
That's fine.
Yeah. I will say there is room for improvement in this song. I'm not going to deny that it suffers from some pretty serious flaws.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a decent song in there trapped in.
That's probably a big issue I have with it.
In a lot of 80s production. You've got these really cheesy synths playing.
Very high keyboard notes. And the lush.
I don't know what instrument it's imitating. It's kind of like a glockenspiel, the very pingy sort of sounds.
Yeah.
That just scream adult contemporary of the 80s and 90s.
Right.
And it sounds dated immediately. But I don't know. There's just something about it, something very sweet and innocent about it as well that I find kind of endearing.
Did Tony Banks politely ask you to like his song?
Did he write most of that?
I think it was a group effort.
Yeah.
By this time, most of the songs you were getting to were written by Genesis.
Sure.
That's what it said on the album.
Yeah.
No, that was supposed to be a joke. Did Tony Banks politely ask you to like his song?
Tony Banks doesn't do anything impolitely, so.
Yeah. All right. Well, now that we have now to cleanse the not faux Genesis to listen to.
Fighting weights.
No, I'm not.
We got some prog Genesis.
Some prog Genesis. This was unintentional, I promise. I made the list, and then we just happened to. This was actually the song I was going to play first, but I decided to play it last.
And good, because
just so we could go out.
I didn't want you to leave with a bad taste in your mouth.
The Calamity song was bad to you?
No, I meant with In Too Deep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Well, now we get a chance to cleanse our palates. Musical box,
Awesome.
which I know that we are big fans of. So let's press play on this thing and let's hit it. Let's dive into the strange, deep world of the musical box and the brilliant story it weaves in and out. And we go.
So for that whole time, Tom and I were just jamming out. All of that because that'd be embarrassing as well.
No, of course. We'll just keep it between the two of us. No, I started listening to that track again because I don't think I ever really heard the musical box. I knew it was, you know, a beloved song.
Yeah.
And then I started listening to the old medley on the live The Way We Walk the Longs.
Yeah.
And they used the closing section of that. And it was one of those where I was like, I really liked it. What song is it? And I checked the title and it said it was from the musical box. I was like, oh wow, now I gotta check that song out.
Mm-hmm.
And I just fell in love with it just for that closing section alone. But
yeah. The whole song though is beautiful. It's a masterpiece even. Like, well, maybe not masterpiece. That's more like
masterpiece worthy, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the highlight tracks that should be included on every Genesis compilation, but it isn't because it's too long a lot of the time.
It's too long.
Yeah,
and it has one of the strangest stories I think I've ever heard in my entire life.
I don't really think much about the story.
I do because it's so strange. Essentially, a boy and a girl in a little orphanage, whatever, are playing croquet, and the girl cleaves the boy's head off with the mallet, which is on the cover of Nursery Crime.
It happens.
And so his spirit goes into his musical box. Weeks later, or years later, she finds the musical box, opens it, and his spirit comes out, but his spirit starts aging rapidly, and so he starts to have all these sexual desires that you would have, you know, in your teens or 20s, not when you're, you know, before the age of 10.
Yeah.
And so he's pressuring the girl on. As this is happening, the nurse or whatever sees this, throws the musical box at the spirit, and kills both the spirit and the girl, and the song ends. I know, it's one of the strangest stories I've ever heard in my life. But that's Genesis for you. That's Peter Gabriel for you.
Huh.
So
At least it's not about the Fountain of Salmacis.
So those are our...
That's a different story that I don't think we're going to talk about.
Unless one of us chooses it for the next 5 songs.
Maybe.
Or whatever. All right, so that was our 5 songs.
Yeah.
Really quickly, let's do a quick rundown of what they were. Your 5 were Ballad of Big.
Ballad of Big, Scenes from a Night's Dream, Turn It On Again, the Home by the Sea medley from the Genesis 83 album, and...
In Too Deep.
In Too Deep.
And all by Genesis.
All by Genesis.
And my 5 were SNOOKEROO by Ringo Starr, All the Young Dudes by David Bowie, Rumble and Sway by Jamie N. Commons, Calamity Song by the Decemberists, and The Musical Box by Genesis.
Jeez.
So those were our rundown.
Yeah.
So let us know, guys, if you know any of these songs and what do you think of them. And hope to do more of these in the future.
Yeah, we should include a playlist of the music.
We should. I will include a playlist in the description of the songs we listen to in the order that we listen to them.
Yes.
Awesome. So that was awesome.
Definitely.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.